as you sit here listening to the speech, there are people out in the world being hunted down, persecuted, and killed due to their religious preferences, their ethnicity, or their sexual preference. Thousands upon thousands of people are leaving their homes, trying to escape the swords of the barbarians who seek to kill them. Many of us here try to keep up to date with global affairs and watch the news in horror at the brutalities being committed by certain groups and other people. Some of you out there don't care about what's happening within the global community. If you're one of those, let me tell you this. If we don't stop these problems before they get too big, within time, they will become our own. I feel confident to speak about this subject due to my vast experience dealing with terrorist organizations. I have also kept up with global affairs, and I can see how the departure of the U.S. from the global community has left a power vacuum that's being filled by regional powers and terror groups who not only abuse international laws, but also abuse the people they seek to conquer. Good evening. My name is Moses Espinal, and I'll be speaking to you today about the positive aspects of military intervention and how those military interventions bring freedoms to the local nationals. Today I'll be telling you how interventions bring freedom and liberty to populations of third world countries, how they end the brutality being committed by terror groups, and lastly, how they reaffirm the world that America will not turn a blind eye to injustices. War is a horrible thing for anyone who partakes in it, but if abuses are taking place around the world, we have a moral obligation to intervene. There are many countries out there facing domestic issues, and according to Carol and Jamshid, failing and failed nations are falling into the hands of despots, religious fanatics, militias, and terrorists. Now, I have personally seen the positive aspect of interventions. When I deployed to Afghanistan in the summer of 2011, the District of Sengen in Helmand Province has 600 children, all boys, going to school. In the time span of 7 months, we were able to build 6 schools, and by the end of it, we had over 6,000 children of both sexes attending school. By putting our men in enemy-controlled territory, we were able to reshape the landscape of the educational background in that district, and also make a staggering and decaying economy flourish to levels not seen in decades. Now, while liberty are not the only thing threatened by overly aggressive countries and organizations, there are many things that could be a lot worse than that, such as mass executions and genocide. A poll taken by the World Public Opinion Organization states that 79% of Westerners believe that the U.S. and other Western powers have a moral responsibility to use military force to stop genocide. President John F. Kennedy once said, "The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Good men is you and myself." When these senseless killings take place, we have a moral responsibility as a superpower to stop them. If we do not, we're only neglecting the situation and encouraging future atrocities to take place. Morality should be the biggest push. It should be our biggest driving force to send our men to war. But aside from that, we also have to be on the lookout for our national interest. We have to protect them. With America shifting its gaze from the national community and coming back to an isolationist point of being, the power vacuum left behind has been filled by regional powers and some terror groups. According to Joshua Fisher, the crisis and conflicts that we're currently experiencing in the Ukraine, the Middle East, and Northern Africa are largely due to the U.S. new stance on the world. Along with that, Tom Rogan says that the horrific violence the Iraqis and the Syrians are experiencing by ISIS are due to the West non-intervention. I myself am a history fan, and some of you are too, and we can see how in past conflicts such as the Kosovo-Serbian War, the Iraqi military being routed from Kuwait, and the dismantling of the Haitian junta, the use of force alone by the U.S. was able to make these opponents succumb to our will. Now, putting boots on the ground has many effects. One of them being that reminds our enemies, our rivals, and our allies that America is always present, always watchful, and always ready to act to stop those who seek to do evil. In conclusion, today I shared with you the positive aspects of intervention and how they bring freedom and liberties to certain groups. Along with that, I taught you that within those certain interventions, freedoms and liberties are distributed throughout the world. With that, terror comes to an end when we are able to put boots on the ground. And lastly, how it reaffirms the world that we're always watching. 2 days ago, not far from here, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, a Muslim man associated with ISIS opened fire at a recruiting station, killing 4 U.S. Marines and a Navy petty officer. As I said earlier, if these problems aren't stopped when they first arise, those battles won't be happening in some faraway place. They'll be taking places in our backyard. It would be our families being persecuted, our friends being hunted down and killed, our homes being burnt to the ground, and our rights and liberties taken away. With that, I ask you, educate yourself and educate those around you, so that when push comes to shove and we do have to send men to war, we can make an educated decision on how to help these people. There are numerous problems and conflicts arising throughout the world. Keep up to date with them. And again, when it comes time, know that the men and women of the armed forces will be ready to respond to any threat and to help those who cannot help themselves. Thank you.